Okay, and the importance of a master plan. Well, obviously, your time and money are two of the things that are almost inseparable. And so your time, your money, your resources are able to be allocated properly, because it doesn't really matter how much money you have or how little money you have. If somebody says, I've got, $1,000 to spend, well, that's a lot of money to them. And if somebody says, well, I got $100,000 to spend, that's a lot of money for them, okay? And even if it's $1 million for a multimillionaire, it's still a significant amount of money to spend. And so, do we want to spend the money, or do we really want to invest the money? You invest the money because you want a return on your investment, in more ways than one. Again, back to the emotional, the intellectual, the visual, and all that. And so also it helps you to orchestrate all the components, whether you're working in a room, where you have to orchestrate all the different furniture pieces, or you're working in a house where you need to transition into different areas and have some relatedness. That all helps you to do that. And so when I talk about the words, we're talking about intangible things first, because the intangible almost always precedes the tangible. Somebody has an idea, a concept, and then eventually, voila, we now have a reality. Because it used to be a dream about going to the moon, and rocket ships and things like that. Now we almost fly there almost daily. And then the other thing is important to have it on paper, because without having it documented, you can't look at it, you can't ponder it, you can't meditate on it. And it's part of what gets you excited, okay? Is everybody getting something out of this so far? Is that making some understanding? Because I've got to create the foundation first, and then you can see some of the other things that happen. Because we're going to get into a bunch of slides here momentarily. And then realize that what you're working with, whether it's in the house you have right now, whether it's in the house you plan to build, you're always working with in the context of architecture. So you have architecture, you have interior design, and they are and should act as a hand-in-glove scenario. So what is architecture composed of? Floors, walls, and ceilings. Okay, and so it depends on what type of material they're made of. But somebody said that the key to better planning, or better living is planning, and it just reminds me of this comment. You've probably heard it before. And I got to remember how it goes. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Correct? Okay. And then a common mistake is that people don't really understand, and it's good. I mean, we're in a library here, filled with information. Books back there on architecture and other things. Of course, you got to watch what you read, because sometimes some of the things that are read there are in what I call and it's okay that there's different levels like decorating and designing. But when you get into design, you're getting at a higher level of what I call orchestration. We're not talking about for music like Mary, Mary Had a Little Lamb. We're talking about something much more emphatic, much more involved, or even into Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. That's a few minutes long, isn't it? Okay, that's not like 3 minutes like your typical popular song, but why is it you go there year after year after year to hear the same thing? There's got to be something that moves you. Okay. So anyway, being aware of your surroundings is another important thing. What I hope that you can pull from this is that you will walk out of here today realizing that I have a different paradigm, and a different filter to look at my world and other things, and be more able to be discerning, be able to pick out some of the things that are the motivating factors that make things happen.